Hey friends, pull up a chair, grab your yarn, and let's just hang out and craft together today. I have a lot on my mind, and honestly, I just really need some quiet creative time with you. Before we dive into our projects, I just wanted to show you these Moomin dolls. I designed them myself. Aren't they sweet? They actually just came back home to me after 2 whole years away, and holding them feels a bit bittersweet. A while back, a company wanted to turn these designs into mass produced plushies, but there was a catch. They wanted me to sign over all the intellectual design rights permanently and only pay me a flat fee for the design itself. No royalties, no ownership. But they said I could crochet the dolls and sell it if I wanted to. When I gave them my price for the design rights, a price that actually represented and respected the hours, the skill, and the heart I poured into these, they just went completely silent. We officially ended our relationship recently. They even stopped selling my other handmade items in their shop. And you know what? That's okay. It is so important that we don't undersell ourselves as makers and designers. If we don't protect the value of our work, no one else will. Saying no to a bad idea is just making room for the right one. I'm just so happy to have my dolls back where they belong. Ooh, it feels good to get that off my chest. Let's shake off that heavy business talk and get into some happy crafting. So I've already started to work on this while I'm telling you about the Moomin dolls, but I am finishing up these little mini octopus amigurumi. I've already done the body, and right now I'm just adding the final little embroidery facial details, the eyes, the cheeks, the smile. And if you watched my previous video, then you know that these are no-so and so adorable and designed by my friend Vivica. And you can find her everywhere. Her handle is Wandering Deer. I absolutely love making these. They are small, quick, and just so joyful to stitch. Do you have a project like that? Something you can make almost from memory that just resets your brain. Tell me what you're working on in the comments. I genuinely want to know. I actually, as you know, keep a few of these mini octopus inside my purse at all times. It's kind of my secret weapon for spreading kindness. I started them I started keeping them in my bag because actually you never know what kind of day someone is having. If I'm out running errands and I see a stranger who looks completely overwhelmed, or a cashier or a waitress who's incredibly patient, I love to quietly slide one of these over to them. It completely changes the energy and the vibe. And kids. I love giving them to kids so much. I have some truly amazing kids in my life, and seeing the world through their eyes just keep me grounded. Kids wear their hearts on their sleeve. When you hand a child a tiny handmade octopus, their eyes just light up like you've given them real magic. It reminds me why I started making things in the first place. Crafting isn't just about loops of yarn, it's about connection. Honestly, thinking about these past 2 years with the Moomin dolls is just a reminder of how much heavy change has been happening lately. It's been a really tough couple of years, if I'm being completely honest. But through all the noise and the stressful transitions, I've finally started taking a real focus on taking care of myself. I realized I couldn't keep pouring from an empty cup. One thing that has been an absolute game changer for me is starting a regular Pilates routine at home. I've been using Apple Fitness for it and I am absolutely loving it. It's just this dedicated, quiet window of time where I can focus on my breath and move my body without any pressure. It feels so grounding. Along with the movement, I've also been spending a lot of time trying out new recipes and researching nutrition. I really want to maximize my cooking at home, making sure I'm fueling myself with things that make me feel energized and good from the inside out. It actually became a bit of a passion project. I've even been debating if I should open up a whole separate YouTube channel just to share my experience with the cooking things, nutrition journey, and maybe recipes. But then, reality hits me and I remember how much work goes into a channel. I feel like I barely have enough time to keep up with this current YouTube here, so I'm a bit torn. What do you think? Would you want to see that kind of content here, or should I just keep it focused? Speaking of YouTube and making videos, oh my goodness, I have to tell you about my new toy. I have the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro. I just got it recently, actually. I really wanted to try and elevate my filming here on this channel. It's supposed to have all these incredible AI tracking and stabilization, which would be amazing for showing you close-up angles while I craft. But you guys, I am having a really hard time with it. It's actually difficult to turn on. Literally, just getting it to power up and cooperate has felt like trying to solve a puzzle in the dark. It is a massive learning curve for me. I'm really hoping to figure it out soon so I can start using it to bring better, smoother, and more beautiful content here on the channel. But for now, if any of you are secretly tech geniuses and know how to use that, please leave me some tips in the comments because I am struggling. Speaking of making content here on the channel, you might have noticed that this episode feels a little different from the last one. In my previous episode of Hook and Chat, it was mostly just music playing in the background while I stitched. But today I felt the urge to jump on here, try out talking to you face to face, and let you know generally what has been going on in my life. I'm always a bit torn, to be honest. I'm never entirely sure if music videos while I craft or talking in this kind of format is better. I know for myself, sometimes when I'm sitting down for a long session, I really enjoy listening to people talk about their lives while I'm hooking away. It makes the time pass quickly, actually. So I truly hope this format feels good for those of you listening right now who just want to have that kind of friend in the room with them. Just two friends hanging out, working through our yarn stash and catching up. One of the things that have been occupying my mind a lot during this self care journey is a book I've been reading lately. It's all about the deep work of healing ourselves so that we can ultimately become better parents for our kids. There are so many things I am absolutely loving about it, but there was one specific quote that completely stopped me in my tracks. The author wrote, "We choose to break our bad habits instead of breaking our children's hearts." I mean, wow. When I read that, it just hit me so deeply in my chest. It made me feel incredibly thankful to have found this book. And I have always been a huge advocate of gentle parenting, but reading those words put a whole new perspective on it. Healing our own past wounds is the greatest gift we can give not only to our kids, but to ourselves. I feel incredibly lucky because my kid and I have a very respectful, honest, and loving relationship at home. It's a space I protect fiercely, but don't get me wrong. That is definitely not to say that we don't ever misunderstand each other or that we don't sometimes get upset or frustrated. We are human, after all, both of us. But what I love most is that I've learned how to hold that safe space for my kid when those big emotions happen. Having the actual tools to know how to parent with grace in certain tough situations have completely changed our dynamic. It makes all the hard work of breaking those old generational and cultural habits entirely worth it. And as I've been sitting with lessons from this book, I've realized its wisdom doesn't just stop at parenting. I found it so incredibly helpful in all of my relationships, especially my friendships. It has really made me reflect on how important it is for us to practice that same gentleness and deep respect with our friends. Supporting the people we love, especially when they are walking through a really dark or difficult season, is so important. But I think we often misunderstand what support actually means. True support doesn't mean we have to jump in and fix their problems. It just means we hold space for their feelings. It means we listen simply to provide comfort rather than to offer solutions. I think so often people let their own discomfort with the heavy situation push them away. They don't know what to say or they don't know how to help, so they just withdraw. But we don't need to have the answers, we just need to be there. During my own worst days over the last couple years, I was blessed to have a few friends who truly took the time to check in on me daily. I even had one friend who physically came to see me almost every single day when things were at their heaviest. Not once did she ever make me feel like a burden or like I was too much to handle. I can honestly say I am a better, truer version of myself today because of her presence in my life. But walking through a hard time also opens your eyes in other ways. During those same dark days, there were people who I fully thought would be there for me who ended up slowly distancing themselves. Eventually, I just didn't hear from them anymore. It's sad, but honestly, I get it. Not everyone is going to know how to love you through every season. And we won't always know how to love everyone else perfectly either. It was a really painful experience when people who used to be so close to me suddenly became strangers. I'm just so thankful that hasn't happened many times in my life, and I truly hope it doesn't happen again. But even with the sadness, there isn't any bitterness there. Sometimes I still think about them, and I find myself looking back pleasantly on the happy memories we shared. And I truly hope they are happy, healthy, and doing well wherever they are in the world right now. Life changes, people drift, but the love we shared at the time was still real. Wow, we really dove deep today, didn't we? It feels so nice to open up my heart like this while we're working together. So, we are coming up on the final weaving in of these adorable octopus over here. And I truly love sharing all the things that are in my head with you, and I hope that you enjoyed it as well. And if you have any comments or encouragement, advice, anything, please leave them in the comment box below. And my throat is really dry right now, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But maybe I'll add some music as I have just a little bit more to go. Again, thank you so much for sitting with me today and listening to my Moomin story, letting me vent about my tech struggles, and for just being here while I finish these octopus. It really does feel like crafting with a really close friend, doesn't it? Take care of your hands. Remember what your work is worth, and I will see you in the next Hook and Chat. Bye, friends.